minutes have come and gone. Boy, it's not for some great chances that there hasn't been any scoring in this one. Anderson, a couple of great chances. Moog and Ranford have just been splendid. End to end, 20 shots, 10 saves apiece thus far. Adam, Martin, and Joe. 3 young Edmonton Oilers, 1 Oiler line, thrown together by trades from Glenn Sather. Later, they may be the new kids with the cup, but right now, let's just call them the new kids on the block.
It wasn't for them.
Chris Conto's up for his first shift, gets bumped to the corner, the Oilers center and scores! Jelena!
So we knew that the potential was there. I don't think we ever expected them to play quite as well as they have played.
Joe Murphy pouncing on that big rebound of the shot from the point, and he gives the Edmonton Oilers a 6-5 overtime win.
It's nice to see them so excited and so pumped up about the Stanley Cup playoffs that it brings us along with them.
The score! The Kid Line puts Edmonton on top at the 9:46 mark.
The Kid Line, 22-year-olds Joe Murphy and Adam Graves, and 19-year-old Martin Jelena. Their youth is vital to this veteran club.
If you got a house without any kids in it, your house is pretty empty, but as soon as you put some kids in there, things start to happen. That's really what happened with our team. We got to the position that we had pretty much a veteran hockey team, and as soon as we put some kids in there, the veterans started to act like kids again, and we got that speed and determination back again, and it's made a lot of difference to the team. They're really the ingredient that we needed.
You know, all 3 of us want to win a Stanley Cup and get a ring is more than anything. I think it's just a great thing that all 3 of us can play together and work for that same goal. And
You know, when you play with those guys, you always look better, and that's just perfect, play with those guys.
And they come to the rink with so much enthusiasm, and they work so hard that, you know, you expect that at least the effort and the enthusiasm that they show, you expect that of yourself, because otherwise you feel you'd be letting them down.
Sometimes they get too enthusiastic, like their first shift of the finals when all 3 got caught in the same corner.
And that was my fault, because I was supposed to be the 3rd man, and I jumped in there. But what the heck? Sometimes your enthusiasm takes control of your mind.
The origin of the Kid Line goes back 2 years when the trade shocked Edmonton. In return for the Great One, the Oilers acquired Martin Jelena, the 7th pick overall in the 1988 entry draft, and high scorer Jimmy Carson. Unable to adapt to the Oilers, Carson happily packed his bags for Detroit in a trade that brought Murphy and Graves to Edmonton. The nucleus was there, and in March, Muckler put them together.
They've been put in a lot of crucial situations, and they've come through in each case. You know, in each situation I put them in, they pretty well come through for us. So they're the Kid Line. I don't think they're the 3rd line.
At times, the biggest obstacle for the Kid Line is a doorman at a nightclub.
We won the game, and everybody was going out, and I couldn't get in. You know, I didn't hide my ID, but sometimes it just happened like that. I'd say, but it's no big deal.
we don't allow Martin to have any drinks.
Yeah.
Just keep him on the water, and
No, Marty's got a curfew. If I'm not calling, Murph's calling. He has to be in by 11 o'clock, and, you know, TV has to be off by 11:30, and we have to make sure of that.
Well, Martin could have a Stanley Cup by 11 o'clock tonight, and he may not have to be in. But has he ever had the chances in this series? Here's one from the first period of tonight's game. Still no goals, but not for want of an effort. The C in hockey stands for crunch. And here it comes on Jelena, courtesy of Lyndon Byers. Yeah. No score in our contest from the city where Paul Revere once rode, and there's a church called the Old North. No score at the end of 1. Bob Papa next.
It's strange. I can't pick up anything.
Still, huh?
Filtered, never heat pasteurized, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
It passed 110 other cars to become one of Car and Driver magazine's 10 best. The distinctive Mercury Sable. headed as a car and driver, have seen the light.
Nothing moves you like a Mercury.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings on 1990 Mercury Sable GS.
The struggle for excellence is the spirit behind running a business. It's the only way to run an airline. At Northwest, helping you do business is putting us on the fast track. In all we do, we're striving to jump the line from the merely good to being great. Because being the best is the only thing we want to be.
They really want me to take that job in Chicago.
When the moment really matters, there's no better card than MasterCard. With payment flexibility and nearly 3 times the acceptance of American Express. So you can buy what you want, when you want. For the way we really live.
I've been thinking.
Welcome back to our NHL studios in New York. I'm Bob Papa. One period complete in Boston. The Oilers and Bruins are scoreless. The Conn Smythe Trophy goes to the most valuable player in the playoffs. This year's leading candidates are the Oilers' Mark Messier and goalie Bill Ranford. If Messier captures the honor, he would become only the 4th player in the 25-year history of the honor to win it twice. The first 2-time winner was the great Bobby Orr. The Bruin legend captured the award in 1970 and 72 as the Bruins hauled in a pair of Stanley Cups. Bobby Orr the first to do it. Bernie Parent won the trophy in back-to-back seasons as the Flyers won the Stanley Cup in 1974 and 75. The 3rd player to turn the trick was Edmonton's Wayne Gretzky in 1985 and 1988. Messier won his first Conn Smythe in 1984. During this year's playoffs, he has 9 goals and 21 assists, playing in his 22nd game. Turning to baseball, for the 2nd straight day, the Western leading A's pounded the Eastern leading Brewers. The final score in Oakland, the A's win it 13-1. Jose Canseco is 16th and 17th home runs of the season. Dave Stewart, the first 8-game winner in the major leagues. Elsewhere, American League and Boston Red Sox lead the Royals 4-1 in the 9th inning. And Baltimore Orioles taking on the White Sox. Orioles lead at 1-0 in the 3rd. Detroit playing Texas. Rangers lead at 2-0 bottom of the 3rd. Minnesota taking on the Yankees. No score in the 2nd inning. The Mets' Frank Viola trying to become the 2nd player in baseball to pick up his 8th win of the season. Mets taking on the Padres at Shea Stadium in New York. And we take a look at the scoreboard of that one. Padres lead it by a 3-0 score in the 3rd. Montreal taking on Cincinnati. No score in the 4th inning of play. Phillies playing host to the Braves in that one. Braves lead it 2-0 in the 2nd. St. Louis and the Giants, a final there. St. Louis wins it 3-2 on Vince Coleman's home run in 12 innings. And one final score, the Dodgers whip the Cubs 15-6. Well, that wraps it up from our New York studios. I'm Bob Papa. Period 2 from Boston comes your way after this.
You rely on them to get you through some of the worst weather Mother Nature can dish out. And their sure-footed traction is always a welcome addition in rain and snow. Their durability is legendary, and they continually rank high in customer satisfaction. Shouldn't you demand as much from the car you drive? Test drive a Subaru today. The latest in foul or fair weather gear.
All right, check this out. Hey, it's magic. Yep. And Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Akeem, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley. It's amazing. Yep. Isaiah Thomas, Dr. J. What is this tape? It's called NBA Superstars. Some excellent plays to some excellent tunes. All right, wait till you see this. This is great. I love this. It's called All New Dazzling Dunks and Basketball Bloopers. I gotta get this video. All right, watch this. Watch this. Yes! Hold it, I got another one. You're kidding. What else? Awesome endings. You believe that?
It's an awesome feeling.
These tapes are outrageous. Yeah, and if you buy any 2 of them, you get 6 free issues of Sports Illustrated. All the details are in the box. So? Yeah? Where do I get them? You just call 1-800-NBA-TAPE. 1-800-NBA-TAPE.
These are the the Stanley Cup championships from Boston, Massachusetts, and the statue of the man who rode to every Middlesex village and farm not far from here, Paul Revere. The end of the first period of play, the Edmonton Oilers and Boston Bruins are tied, 0-0. We've often talked about the smallness of the ice surface here in Boston, but I think another factor, too, is the narrowness of the corners, and this old goaltender isn't so young that he didn't play here. John Davidson, what does that mean to a goalie, the fact that the corners are so egg-shaped?
Mike, what it does more than anything else, what would seem like a bad angled shot on goal becomes a better angled shot because of the narrower boards here, the sideboards. Now, the length of the building, the ice surface in Edmonton is 200 feet, the way it's supposed to be. Here in Boston, it's 191. But from the goal line to the backboards, behind the nets, is exactly the same at 10 feet. So Craig Janney has his room to manipulate if he can back there.
Boy, we saw a lot of good hitting in that period, too, right along the boards, too.
A lot of board work, Mike, and I think board work could win this game. We've heard Bill Clement a lot talk about cycling. As we see the shot here taken from the point by Steve Smith, Bill Clement has talked about cycling in the corners a lot throughout all the playoffs. We'll try to show you exactly what it means. This is the kid line on the ice. Murphy, Graves, and Jelena. Now watch them work the corner, and there's always an outlet. We stop it there. We see the man that had the puck. Here's another man along the board, so there's the outlet pass backwards. We roll it some more. You'll see whenever Edmonton control the boards here, nobody's open in front. They'll continue to have an outlet man. Stop it again. There goes the outlet man this way. So when this man is being checked by Carpenter, you'll see the puck go backwards to the open man. And they'll work the boards here as perfect as you can. 3 young kids who average 20 years of age continue to just work the boards, Nobody open in front because of some good checking. There's another open man. The point man is pretty much covered here, so they go back with it once again. Good board work, Mike, by the Edmonton Oilers and their kid line.
In this series, the first goal of the game has won the game. We'll see who gets that first goal when we come back for the start of the second period after this.
You don't get to the top. You don't stay on top. Just because you say you're the best, you have to be the best. That's why one imported beer remains the #1 selling brand in America. After all, if you really are the best, people will know, and they'll keep you on top, where you belong. Heineken.
Today we'll talk more about proper tennis procedures. Let's begin. Never try to hit too hard. In tennis, conservative attire is a must. Avoid overexcitement. Maybe we should go through this one more time.
Look, isn't that Jerry Mason? Get his autograph! No way, I'm too embarrassed. Then I'll get a close-up for you.
Ah, the Minolta Freedom Zoom. When you can't get to the picture, this camera brings the picture to you.
Oh, you're into me! Give me one more shot.
Freedom Zoom, the only compact with 5-beam autofocus, so even subjects not centered are perfectly focused. Enjoy your freedom today.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
As we return to the Boston Garden, referee Andy Van Hellemond was standing at center ice, ready to drop the puck, turned, skated to the Boston bench, and verbally berated this man, the coach. Now, whether or not Mike Milbury had been saying something that he thought was behind Andy's back or not, up went the antennas, and finally we get the second period underway. Charlie Huddy lifts the puck toward the line. It was knocked down, held in by Bork to Neely. Trying to center one. Here's Janney and off the wing. Walks right in on goal. Shoots. Ranford makes the save. Can you believe that Lady Luck continues to smile on this man the way she has through 4 games and a third of this?
You know what's different about this is that Tikkanen was on the ice and Janney was still able to get open because the Oilers looked like they were going to get the puck out of the zone. I'm not so sure this didn't go under him and hit the post, Jakes, when it came back. But great moves by Janney. Went to his forehand. Well, where is it? I still haven't seen it on that one. I got a glimpse of it at regular speed, but watch it from this angle. There's Janney going under. Oh, it actually flipped up in the air, and there it is sitting right on Billy Ranford's pads. And before the whistle blew, Janney had it behind the net. And And then Andy Van Hellemond blew the whistle and stopped play. But Tikkanen started to cheat on the transition a little bit because he thought the Oilers had full possession. That's a cheap lesson for Tikkanen to learn. Don't go offense until he's sure his guys got it out of the zone. Stay with Janney.
And we know now that John Davidson took nothing off the edge of that lucky coin. It still won't work. The Bruins back into the Edmonton zone. Huddy trying to come out of the corner. Carpenter stepped in front of him. The Oilers turned it over. Here's Craig Janney. Thompson toward the net, but Huddy was right there. His pass goes off Carpenter, held at the line. Carpenter gets it to Janney. Trying to move it on Tikkanen. Janney and Tikkanen. Janney again gets onto the puck. Dumps it in toward the corner. Neely trying to break through Randy Gregg's check to get to it. Did. Janney steps out of the corner, centers, and right through Raymond Borkwood moved in to join the play. This is Anderson rushing it through center ice. 3 Bruins back. Anderson drags it around Don Sweeney and scores!
What a play by Glenn Anderson to give the Oilers the lead. This was a 2-on-3. One of the man-to-man situations stayed over on the side, so what it really ended up being was Glenn Anderson against 2 defensemen. Don Sweeney wanted to bust his stick over the net after he got by him, but watch it come. On the left of your screen, that man-to-man stays over there, so it's a 1-on-2. Through Sweeney, you know what, he fanned on his shot and still found room between Andy Moog's legs. And that happens to be the 5th goal in this series that the Oilers have been able to score between Andy Moog's legs. You know, his stick came right down on the top of the puck and just got a little bit of shove onto it, almost like a shuffleboard effect. It found its way between Andy Moog's legs, but you got a great look at Glenn Anderson's balance there, didn't you?
Oh, did you ever? Anderson, of course, had 2 goals. The first 2 in Game 4, which Edmonton won 5-1. He has 10 playoff goals now, and the Oilers have the lead, 1-0 here at the Boston Garden. Burridge back into his own zone for the Bees. Turned it over to Curry. Curry shifts to the backhand. Centers just wide as Lamb trying to get to it. Now it's held in by Muni as he puts it back in the net. Peterson and Lamb collide. The puck goes to Galley. Gary Galley feeds Randy Burridge. 3 Bruins move through center ice. Across the line with it is Bice. Played it back toward the open wing, and it's Huddy, or Muni now, working it right into the center ice area. Curry gets checked by Burridge. That forces Edmonton to chase it. Simpson has just come out. 1 touch to Curry, to Lamb. He gets bumped off the play by Johnston. So the Bruins set up in their own zone. Hoggood flips it out into the center ice area, and Lowe shoots it right back in. There's Hoggood knocking it down. He's giving it to Bork up the middle. Quick pass off Christian's stick. Carter in after it. Steve Smith gets back, stepping in front of Carter, and the Oilers move it out into the center ice zone. Murphy reaching. It's checked by Bork. Carter comes back. It's held in. Murphy comes in off the right side, puts the shift on Bork, centered one that was blocked. On the doorstep again, and handled by Jelena, whose backhander went wide. Graves over on left wing, lets it go. Moog grabs it, drops it at the stick of Hoggood. Up the boards for Johnston. He didn't get to it in time. So Steve Smith for Edmonton spins it to Murphy. His pass picked off, however, by Carter. Now to Hoggood. Christian down the right side, the long pass off his skates, and it's cleared right back by the Edmonton defense. Hoggood trying to dump it in, didn't. Murphy comes down right wing. Murphy and Jelena break in. Murphy gets in deep, put it in front. It's underneath Bork, right at the goal mouth, and there is no further play. The big goal by Glenn Anderson, giving Edmonton the lead in 18 of 22 of their playoff games.
Hi, Joe Garagiola here with Johnny Bench back at Toyota's Big League Sales event. The fans are set for great Camry deals. Andrews looks in.
Like the Camry sedan?
Nice, but so's the wagon. But I'll take the sedan. No, I'll take the
She's in a pickle here, John.
No wonder, with savings up to $735 on option packages and factory dealer incentives up to $1,200, any Camry's a good catch. Well, we could be going into extra innings. Toyota's Big League Sales event with even bigger Camry incentives.
It's a whole new ballgame.
Taking a little time here at the Boston Garden to look around. See the banner proclaiming the heroics of Andy Moog. Moog is having some equipment attended to on the ice, and appears to be a strap on his goal pad that has everybody a little concerned at the moment. In order to be corrected, if he has to go to the bench, they'll have to put the other goaltender in. But right now, Moog says he's going to be okay.
The 1990 Stanley Cup Championships from Boston on Sports Channel America are brought to you tonight by your Toyota dealer and their quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Heineken and Amstel Light, America's favorite imported beers. They're the tops. By U.S. Sprint and its new world of telecommunications. And by Nike, who reminds you to just do it.
From the face-off, the puck comes around the boards. Lima, who had been out on the draw, is back on the Edmonton bench. Tikkanen trying to slow up Carpenter as he comes over the line with Neely and Janney. The shot up high on Ranford is handled now by Huddy. Huddy, bothered by Carpenter, still able to put it in center ice, however, and Wesley comes back. Up to Neely, to Janney, chases it in. Janney centers. What a play by Huddy as Carpenter had the stick cocked, ready to one-time it. This is Wesley at center ice, overled Carpenter. Huddy back in his own zone. Randy Gregg moved it out into the center ice area. Gary Galley drops back. Tikkanen races it after it. Galley slowed up, and McTavish can't knock it loose. This is Cam Neely. Neely unable to make the play at center ice. Now his teammates in the middle of the change, and he has dumped it in from his own side of center ice, and this will be icy against the Bruins. Rattled just a little bit, perhaps, after that goal by Glenn Anderson, Bill.
I don't think there's any question that the Bruins sagged and that the Oilers came on. And as a matter of fact, had the Oilers gotten a second quick one, I almost know that Mike Milbury would have called a timeout to try and slow things down. But this Oiler bunch has the scent. And, you know, you can talk about a Bruins team that would really want to avoid, obviously they want to win the cup, but they want to avoid losing the cup on home ice. Well, these Oiler guys really want to win the cup on the road. Of the 10 existing franchises that have won Stanley Cups, and the Oilers are one of them, they're the only one of the 10 that has never clinched the title on the road. And there's a time for closeness and togetherness, and it's kind of a private time when you're on the road. You get to charter home together, and it's a special time. They've won all of their cups at home. They really want to put this one away on the road.
Yeah, I know you have memories of winning a cup on the road. I was with a team that flew back all night for the Stanley Cup, changing seat by seat as each individual had his private time. It would be special for the Oilers. They know it. Messier in center ice now, across the line with Simpson. The captain holding the puck. Messier checked at the last second by Bob Sweeney. Trying to make the play to the right side, and it's Burridge handling it. To Christian, one touch to DeBork, but the pass off Christian's stick made the play offside.
Now it's a question of what does Mike Milbury do? Well, he's only down a goal, so it's not time to open it up. But the difference in playing with the lead or playing from behind for Mike Milbury is he can play to his strength when he's ahead. He has the #1 defensive team in hockey, or at least he did during the regular season. This is a different season, but he still knows what his guys can do. If they get the lead, they can clog the neutral zone, take away the Oilers' speed. They don't have to bring their defensemen up on the rush, and all of that keeps the tempo down and keeps it in a Boston mode. Now that they're behind, well, they're only behind by 1, so they don't have to open it up. But they are behind, and they can't yet go into what they do best, and that is play quality defensive hockey, letting the puck do the work.
He has Carpenter out there against Messier's line. Carpenter centering for Neely and Janney, Tikkanen, Messier, and Anderson, the forward line for Edmonton. So John Muckler is keeping Tikkanen out there against Janney and Neely, and the puck dumped in. Manfred drops it back in the net. This is Kevin Lowe. The right side to Messier. Mark Messier putting the moves on Don Sweeney. Got taken to the boards, and Bork has it. Well, that's something that Edmonton likes to do all the time, down the right wing boards. Meantime, it's Neely moving it off the right side in the Edmonton zone. Steve Smith clears it up the side. Messier charging after it. Al Peterson over to dump it into board center ice. Here's Ristolainen, has to wait for Messier to get back on side. Takes a little time. Janney moves over on him. Ristolainen protected the puck well before getting it back to Tikkanen. Now up the middle of the reach of Lamb. And Andy Moog will leave it for Greg Hoggood. Around to Cam Neely. Neely works it through center away from Janney. They ruled that the Edmonton Oilers could have played the puck. And they do. Steve Smith with it now. There's the zone. Lamb turns inside the Edmonton territory before giving it to Tikkanen. He got bumped by Byers as he dumped it in. Now Hoggood goes back as Curry and Lamb come into forecheck. Simpson out there with this line. Here's Hoggood for the Boston Bruins, turning the puck over to center ice. Curry got checked, however, and Brian Propp Feeds it on into the Edmonton zone. Ranford out of the net was met by Gould. This is Brian Propp. Propp plays it away from Curry, away from everybody, and all the way back into the Boston end. Gary Galley takes the turn, gives it to Wesley. Up ahead to Propp. Now to Gould. He dumps it in deep. Chasing it is Huddy. Byers right on him. Huddy's pass went to Simpson. Curry breaks to the left side, takes the return feed from Simpson, moves in on Gould, who has dropped back to help the defense. Centering pass right across the front of the net. Brian Propp can't get to it. Now Propp is able to knock it away from Gregg, and it's shot down the ice by Adam Graves. The Oilers clear the zone to keep the play onside. There's Gary Galley taking a hit as he made the play to Wesley, and the puck is deflected off Johnson and up into the seats. Glenn Anderson has the only goal thus far. Edmonton leads 1-0.
The world's most accurate weather radar data is gathered by the WSI Corporation using the reliable 800 service of U.S. Sprint, the network that came through Hugo when AT&T did not.
Let's get that image up. The networks are waiting for the feed.
And if Sprint's nationwide fiber optic network can handle the moods of Mother Nature,
The brunt of this hurricane should miss us.
it can handle any business climate. Reliable all fiber optic 800 service only from U.S. Sprint.
Watch how the Oilers get number 10 Tikkanen on the ice when the Bruins had gotten Janney out there without him. Quickly on the draw. How long did that take? I mean, we had that slow mode, but that's about a 2-second change, and that is how sharp the Oilers have been. They had to get back to it. I mean, for the first 2 games, Tikkanen was all over Janney here. Not even that much in the second game when the Oilers really whomped the Bruins. And the 2 games in Edmonton, the Bruins played him pretty well straight away. But here, since there were so many things written in the newspapers about Craig Janney and how he has not performed in this series, you got to know John Muckler was afraid the same thing would happen to Janney that happened to his own guy, Mark Messier, because after all of the speculation surrounding Messier and a potential injury, he came out of game 4 and was so solid. Craig Janney, I'll give him a lot of credit tonight. He has shown more desire to get away from Tikkanen. I've been watching him closely. A little more jump, a little more physicalness when he has to. I mean, even a guy that's a finesse player that doesn't rely on muscle every once in a while, and now has to be the time. They're down to the short strokes, and he has to try whatever he can, including some physical stuff, to get away from Tikkanen.
Right now, the Bruins have Carter, Bice, and Greg Johnston out on the ice. Johnston backhanding the puck in, and it is teammate Bice inside the Edmonton line, so that's called back on an offside. We've had only 3 penalties called. Think back to the first period with all the hitting that was going on. Only 3 minor penalties thus far, and in this entire series, it's been so well played, we've had only the 1 fight. And I think that speaks very highly of the caliber of hockey that we've seen in the Stanley Cup Final 1990 style.
It's the trend. The entire sport is moving away from the fighting. And most people are happy with that. For the Bruins have only gotten 7 goals by Bill Ranford in this series, and we are in game 5. 4 of those goals have been from the guy that has come late on the play. I think the Bruins are going to have to start bringing a couple of people late, especially Ray Bourque. I mean, he's the only guy that scored more than 1 for the Bruins. They have 4 players that have single goals, and Ray Bourque has 3 of them. And all 3 of them were coming late on the play.
Now the matchup is Carpenter, Sweeney, and Neely against Klima, McTavish, and Buchberger. And it is still that way as the play is in the Edmonton zone. Bourque cross ice to Don Sweeney. Lets one go just wide of Ranford. Bourque charges to the right wing boards, knocked it away from Klima, but it goes to low on the Edmonton defense. To McTavish, up to Peter Klima. Bourque tight on him, and Janney held the puck in. Here's Ray Bourque. Bourque into Janney. Janney tried to feed it in front. It's deflected. Went back in the net. Neely knocks it away from low. In comes Janney. Put it in front, but McTavish is there. So the Bruins are forced to chase it. And Don Sweeney slaps it right back in again.
And the Bruins have Janney out there, Jigs, and you know what? They can't get Tikkanen out there. The Oilers can't.
Continue to hem the Oilers in at the moment, only to have the play come to center now. McTavish is knocked down. Buchberger slams into Bourque as he plays the puck in deeper. Don Sweeney from back of the net, outlets to Carpenter. Up to Janney. Janney can't get through the traffic. Carpenter with it outside the line, dumps it in. Bruins taking a little time, getting the play back on side, and the Oilers come out. Mark Messier works it between the defense combination of Wesley and Galley, and Moog slaps it around the boards. Here's Steve Smith. Smith dumps it in. Moog plays it to the opposite side of the ice. Anderson is there. The Bruins Bruins able to come up with the puck, and it's Randy Burridge starting the attack with a pass to Bob Sweeney to Burridge that's broken up and then called on the offside at the blue line. We have played just over 8 minutes of the second period. Edmonton is up 1-0.
You're the top.
Heineken.
You're the Coliseum. You're the top.
Amstel Light.
You're the Louvre Museum. You're a cut above the taste we love each drop. You're the best of both worlds. You're the tops.
We tested STP oil treatment under the worst possible conditions. In the taxi cabs of New York City. The result? Engine lift to wear was reduced by up to 50%. And now there's an STP for your newer car, too.
Rookie coach Mike Milbury on the left, one of the 3 finalists for the Adams Trophy for Coach of the Year. And John Muckler, really a first-year head coach, but he was a co-coach for so long with Glenn Sather behind the bench that this is nothing new to him. You know what? They have both coached their rear ends off in this series so far. They've had to because of the strengths and weaknesses of their respective teams.
The way the Edmonton Oilers came back in Game 4 after having lost the 3rd game when the series went out to Edmonton. That long session in the morning with the videotape and the telestrator paid dividends. You talk about coaching. The Bruins did the same, of course, breaking down all the video. And you think back to the opening game, that marathon, 1 till 1:25, 1:26 a.m. The Bruins still, after they'd broken down the video, felt they had the better scoring chances, especially early in the game. And here's Anderson with a scoring chance down the left side. Over comes Wesley. Wrap around to Simpson, and he scores!
But is he alive? Bob Sweeney tried to put Simpson right through the net.
We had a look at the Edmonton Oilers owner briefly, and now the concern is for the Edmonton player and the Boston player. Sweeney is up, so is Simpson, and so are the Edmonton Oilers. 2-0.
What a goal. What a goal. There's Peter Pocklington standing dead center taking a drink. His team is up 2-0. They are halfway to their 5th Stanley Cup in the last 7 years. But what a play by Glenn Anderson. He blocked the puck when Sweeney shot it, tipped the puck by him. Now Wesley was cutting him off. What a play he made to Simpson. I thought Simpson might try to pass it back to Anderson. Oh, man, that's how close Simpson's head came to the post. But Glenn Anderson put this pass right on Craig Simpson's tape, and then Simpson took care of it from there. What a beautiful deke on Andy Moog.
And the Edmonton Oilers, with second period goals from Anderson and Simpson, are up 2-0. Simpson with 16 now in the playoffs. The record is 19, set by Yari Curry in 85, or at least tying Reggie Leach's mark set in the 76 playoff, but 19 in the playoff year. Edmonton dumping the puck in off Honey's stick. Graves in after it, took the man. Jelinek takes the puck. Martin Jelinek gets turned around. Let go of him! Heard the referee yelling at him to let go of him. They're still all over Graves, and then Gregg gets knocked down by Johnston. Hoggood can't handle the puck in the Boston zone. Murphy centers off Graves and wide. Graves from back of the net. Puts it out in front. His teammate had been knocked down, and back come the Bruins, 3-on-2. Over the line with it is Weiss. Drops it off. Greg Johnston with a shot. That changed direction went wide. Cleared around the boards by Ranford. John Carter gets to it. Has trouble holding it in the Edmonton zone now, and he does get it to Neely, to Bork. Bork coming late, shoots off the pads of Bill Ranford. Bork after the rebound, checked by Graves. Carpenter moves in, Graves down on the ice, protecting the puck. It comes loose for Carpenter. His shot went wide. Back to Wesley, to the point. Bork one-times it and just missed. Adam Graves takes it off the boards and clears the zone. That's going right to Moog, so there'll be no whistle. Wesley back for it now. Long pass to Bork at center ice. Up to Neely, to Janney. Janney off left wing, centers. What a play by Curry, stepping in front of Neely. And back come the Oilers, but Lamb is rubbed out at center. Then Neely crashes into taking it. Curry steps over the line, feeds Lamb. A drive off Bork is wide. Curry from behind the net gets rubbed out, and it's Carpenter making the pass to Neely. Neely and Janney through center ice. Janney's pass to Bork, to Neely. Neely pulls up in the traffic and dumps it wide. And the Bruins will go for a player change. Kevin Lowe waits back at the Edmonton net. Gould into forecheck, and Lowe simply plays it off the boards, down the ice. Icing waved off. Good back with time to spare. makes the pass. Gould relayed it to right wing for Lyndon Byers. Byers had the stick knocked out of his hands by Mark Lambschek. Peterson dumps one in. Chasing it is Prop. He and Lowe collide at the same time, and the offside that had been delayed is called now. We're well past the midway point of this period. 2-0 Edmonton as we pause for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Stanley Cup Championship will continue after these messages.
The Tour de Light is rolling across America.
Where's Woody?
And they might be coming to your town with lots of instant prizes. If a Miller Lite biker spots you holding a Miller Lite, you could win up to $10,000 and a Raleigh bicycle. So pick up the less filling beer that really tastes great, and you might pick up $10,000 as the Tour de Light races across America.
Well, it might not be time to get sad yet, but there's concern in Boston Garden right now.
Expression on the face looked as if he'd flipped through to the last chapter of the book. Didn't like the ending. Here the Oilers trying to do some more damage. Klima's shot hit the outside of the net. Now they center one through McTavish. Bookberger took a whack at Bobby Gould, and at center ice, Muni dumps the puck right back in again. Al Peterson with it back to the net. Up it goes to Prop. Ryan Prop clears the zone. The puck tipped to Hoggood. He steps over the Edmonton line. But again, the play is offside. 7 minutes, 25 seconds left in the second period as we pause for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Stanley Cup Championships will continue after these messages.
The nation hails a great American. The Big Twin is back at Hardee's, accompanied by new Crispy Curls fries. It's a classic taste with a new twist. Thousands cheer the big taste of 2 burgers, lettuce, cheese, and Big Twin sauce. Hundreds thrill at the specially seasoned Crispy Curls. Yes, America, the Big Twin is back, but only at Hardee's. And right now, you can get the Big Twin for an incredible 99 cents plus tax. That's right, just 99 cents. So hurry to Hardee's.
We talked about the coaches in this Stanley Cup final. There are the names of rookie coaches who have won a Stanley Cup in their career. And tonight, either John Muckler can put his name there, or they can wait till next Tuesday for Mike Milbury if his Bruins can come back. And we've seen this scenario before. Game 1, you'll recall, Edmonton had a 2-0 lead. Ray Bourque tied it up, sent it to overtime, and we played into the third overtime before a winner was declared. And in Game 2, Edmonton had a 2-0 lead. Boston came back to tie it, and Edmonton went to work and won it big. Tonight it's the Oilers leading 2-0 as the play moves on into the Edmonton zone, only to have the Oilers work it up to Messier. Got checked, loose puck for Janney, and right away Tikkanen is in his face. Now Neely moves in, only to have Ranford reach up and grab it out of the air.
It didn't take long for Tikkanen to get there, but did you see how Craig Janney stood him right up? He decided to dig in and go muscle against muscle. I don't think Tikkanen was ready for it. The Oilers were a little lax in their zone trying to dump it out. Tikkanen found himself out there with the Messier line. And there is Janney, and when Tikkanen went for him, Janney just stood right up in his face and then knocked Tikkanen backwards. But that's when Craig Janney has to be at his best. It's when the Oilers have the puck coming out of their zone. He has to be a part of, or at least hope for, a turnover. And that way Tikkanen has to take a couple of seconds to get to him.
Some note, too, on his performance. You think of the checking job he's done. Obviously, the goal scoring has been there, too. And he is shoulder to shoulder now with Janney as they move in for this draw. Carpenter to take the face-off. Tikkanen backed away a little, and the defenseman, Randy Gregg, moves up closer to Janney. Curry is off to the right. The puck goes back in the net, picked up there by Gregg. Down to Curry. Hoggood pinching in, knocked the puck loose. Curry right back on it. Couldn't clear the zone. Now he will. Has a 2-on-1 as he feeds Lamb. Coming right in on goal. He shoots bold, makes the save, and Hoggood has the rebound. Out to Janney. Now to Neely. Carpenter coming down the left side. Neely, big drive off Ranford. Hoggood gets to it. Puts it back in the net for Neely. Neely being tied up. Now Hoggood gets to it. Shoveled it toward the front of the net. That's cleared away. Janney leaves it up on the boards momentarily, and it dropped at the stick of Tikkanen. Round to Charlie Huddy. Janney steps in. Morton gets to it at the line. He's left it for Neely. Low pass to Carpenter, to Neely. Now Carpenter goes cross ice. Here's Hoggood with a shot. That hit Gregg. And Curry can't clear the zone. He gets a second chance. This is Tikkanen now, dumping it down into the Boston territory. Ray Bourque goes back, and that'll be icing against the Oilers. Just a little less than 6 minutes to play in the second period.
You're the top. You're the Coliseum. You're the top. You're the Louvre Museum. You're the best in beer. That fact is clear. Each drop, you're #1. Second to none. You're the top.
Heineken, America's #1 imported beer. Amstel Light, America's #1 imported light beer.
You're a cut above the taste we love. Each drop, you're the best of both worlds. You're the tops.
Great chance for Mark Lamb, but he lost the puck just when he wanted to shoot it. Right there, you see it rolled off his stick. Andy Moog made a good save, stood his ground, and then down at the other end, the Bruins came back, but watch this block by Randy Gregg. We have not talked enough in this series about the job the veteran defense have done for the Oilers in blocking shot after shot after shot and not getting caught doing it. You have to be careful when it's a Bourque or a Neely or a Janney that's winding up. They've got the omnivision. They will see you down and pass it instead of shooting it right into you.
Yeah, that is one area, you're right. We haven't given the Edmonton defense the credit we should, although I guess when you look at the goals against, only 7, something has really gone right. Lowe with a neat pass now to Messier. Backhanded one in front off Don Sweeney's stick. Lowe worked it right back to Messier. Out in front, here's Anderson to McTavish, and he couldn't hold it. Greg McTavish leaves it on the boards. Messier with it now. Checked by Don Sweeney, and the puck is cleared back into the center ice area. Kevin Lowe shoots it down into the Boston territory. Galley after it. Trying to knock it away from Simpson. Got help from Bice. To Christian. He turns it over. Kevin Lowe comes in off left wing. Is met there by Galley. Then gave it to Anderson. Anderson rubbed out back of the net. Oilers right back on the puck. Anderson to Messier out in front. Simpson's shot went wide. Don Sweeney has trouble clearing the zone. The second effort gets it ahead to Christian. He's over the Edmonton line. Partially checked. Carter centers just out of the reach of Bice. Messier moves out. Oilers up 2-0 as Messier crisscrosses with Simpson, and Messier got knocked off balance by Carter's check. Here's Hoggood around Anderson over the Edmonton line, lowers his shoulder to go around Steve Smith, tried to center one that was blocked, and Simpson coming back got bumped, fell into the goalpost, knocks it off, but there's more concern right now about his left shoulder. Earlier, Simpson had crashed into the goal at the other end of the ice and was shaken up. And now Ken Lowe, the Edmonton trainer, is back out to attend to number 18.
It's a good thing he wears a flak jacket, but besides that, Craig Simpson is very good at getting his arms and his hands up quickly when he gets crashed into the net, because of all the players in the league, he gets roughed up in front as much as anybody, simply because he stands there a lot. If you're able to stand there, you'll get your chances. And Craig Simpson takes his lumps. Boy, oh boy, does he come through. Come through tonight already once.
Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. For the look that gets the looks year after year. You can see why it's worth more.
You're the top.
Heineken,
You're the Coliseum. You're the top.
Amstel Light.
You're the Louvre Museum. You're a cut above the taste we love. Each drop. You're the best of both worlds. You're the tops.
From the draw, the puck put in play in the Edmonton zone. The Oilers try to move it out, only to have it turned back. Greg Johnston got it into Hoggood in front to Bob Sweeney, and Ritzelainen knocked it away from him. Back comes Jelena. Jelena moving in on Greg Johnston. Johnston ties up Jelena. The puck on its way to Burridge's stick. 2-on-2 at center ice. Burridge moves in on Ritzelainen. Bob Sweeney in after the puck, played it to the line. Here's Jelena. Two Bruins collide. Wide open. Jelena and Graves. 2-on-1. Jelena centers. Murphy coming late. Couldn't make the play. And the puck underneath Peterson. He's just content to get a face-off. A couple of Bruins are hurting here. And they'll get a face-off in that Boston zone. Under 4 minutes to go. Let's check in with John Davidson.
We are in the officials' dressing room. The linesman and referee come in here and rest between periods. And quietly hidden away, the Stanley Cup. If Edmonton wins tonight, it's theirs. There's names engraved on the inside. 1907, the Kenora Wanderers. By the way, their criteria to get your name on this cup is that you have to have played in at least 40 games during the regular season or dress for one Stanley Cup Final game. Way down on the bottom, there's room for this year's champions, right next door to last year's, the Calgary Flames.
A lot of different ways of getting your name on there. You have to be an employee of a team. You know, the public relations director of the Oilers, Bill Twelly, has his name on the Stanley Cup. Made a deal with Glenn Sather. Sather said, look, we don't have any money to give you a raise this year, Bill. You've done a good job. We'll put your name on the cup. Now you know why Yari Curry's having trouble with his contract, huh?
Tough to take that name to the bank that's engraved on the cup.
Now the Oilers, with a 2-0 lead, break up this Bruins play as Boston tried to come out of their own zone. Puck is at center ice. Huddy dumps it in. And Burridge takes the long pass, I should say, and at center ice. Steps over the Edmonton line here, trying to move in on Gregg. He got taken to the boards and knocked down. Bob Sweeney gets to it. At center it. It's Curry, and Gregg plays it up ahead. Bruins hold it in. Wesley to Johnson. He was checked as he went to shoot it, and back come the Oilers. Mark Lamb over center ice. He's into the Boston zone, trying to go around Fort. Puck loose back in the net, picked up by Bob Sweeney. Sweeney plays it through center, right to the goalkeeper, Bill Ranford. And it's Kevin Lowe playing it out towards center ice. Don Sweeney shoots it back inside the Edmonton territory. Taking it with him now. Neely steps into him, but right there on the puck is Greg Muni. On the boards, then off the boards. And at center ice, Bobby Carpenter has it. He gives it to Don Sweeney. Sweeney dumps it in. Taking it after it. Comes to the line off Carpenter's stick, however. And the Bruins set up again at center ice. This is Gary Galley. Stepped away from Messier, then can't get through the rest of the traffic. Don Sweeney will try his luck. The pass to Carpenter. He's over the line. Gave it to Janney. To Galley coming late. He shoots. That one high and wide. Puck loose at the side of the net. Carpenter puts it out in front. Right there is Janney. A backhand shot. Grabbed by Ranford. There's no further play. It may have been going wide, but Ranford made sure there would be no rebound.
If you want to see Ghostbusters 2, it's on both Showtime and HBO. But Showtime has Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Parenthood. HBO doesn't. Showtime. Here you see them, there you don't.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. Scrunches.
Watch this shot by Gary Galley. Another Oiler defenseman, Kevin Lowe, went down, so Galley had to shoot it high, went right over the net, and the Bruins kept the pressure on. Finally, Ranford was able to squeeze a Craig Janney backhand. You know, the Oilers are going into a bit of a shell themselves, Jake. 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the second period, and a sign of it is they're not trying to make any plays. They're not skating with the puck. They're just trying to dump it down the ice or out along the boards. That's the mistake that the Bruins made in the game they won, but they got away with it. I don't know if the Oilers will.
The Oilers have had only 5 shots on goal in the second period, and 2 of them by Andy Moog. They're up 2-0. Here's Joe Murphy, the former #1 draft pick overall. Adam Graves, first pick in the second round, the same year that Murphy was selected. Bork with it now, dumps it in. Steve Smith goes to the far corner, got partially checked and steps away from Neely, and has given the puck to Rail Ruotsalainen. Ruotsalainen over center. Across the line, pulls up, and dumps it in. Hoggood takes it from Moog, starts the play for the Bruins. Greg Hoggood shot it off Curry's stick. It's loose inside the line. Weiss sets up Christian, can't get it back. Weiss with it again. John Weiss turns and through a screen, his shot was blocked. This is Yari Curry falling at the blue line, but Huddy moves up and forces the Bruins to chase the puck. Hoggood does. Takes it from Moog. Left it behind the net for Peterson. And we're down to 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the second period at the Boston Garden. Randy Gray fires the puck in. Simpson chasing it with Peterson. Simpson sidestepped the check. Peterson into the boards, and Hoggood hits the puck. Christian there to help out, but Mark Lamb doing his job, winning the battle on the boards. Had the puck underneath him, and there's no further play.
You have to know that in spite of the fact that Craig Janney shows no emotion, that there's a ton of frustration going on inside this guy's head. He knows what he means to this team, and the Oilers have done such a great job on him. Puck came to him, and he got an end-over-ender on Bill Ranford. That's part of the frustration right there. That is a big show of emotion for Craig Janney.
The Bruins have to be maybe not totally satisfied, but impressed at least with the reaction of Janney to all the criticism. The newspaper front page this morning, the Boston Globe, saying that both the RCMP in Canada and the FBI have been looking for him. Hadn't spotted him since a game in Landover, Maryland at the end of that series. It was pretty tough way to read the paper or pick it up this morning. What an awful way to have your day begin.
It's one of the prices you pay when you're an athlete of Janney's stature. He's only 22, though, and he'll get used to it as he gets older.
Now Bob Sweeney handling the puck. Dumps the puck in, and Gregg has it. Andy Gregg got it to the line. Messier works it up ahead to Anderson. Anderson with 3 Bruins back, pulls to right wing. Nobody coming up to join him, and he got checked anyway. Wesley is there. Back comes Ray Bourque. Long shot off the pads of Ranford, and that will do it for the second period. But it's all Edmonton. Goals by Anderson and Simpson, and they have the game in control at the moment.
The only trap the Oilers have to worry about is falling into that defensive turtle, going into the shell. If they can generate a little offense and a little bit of forechecking, we're going to see them win the Stanley Cup.
Well, they're almost there, 2 periods down, and they have that 2-0 lead over the Boston Bruins as we pause now for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Stanley Cup Championship will continue after these messages.